Title of my message this morning is Measuring Our Love, drawn from John's Gospel, the verse that reads, Jesus said, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments." I have two confessions to make. One, I love to watch movies, but not all types. Sometimes I turn off a movie immediately, and others I watch, but at the end I wonder, why did I put myself through that? Perfect example is The Notebook. Came out in 2004. The description from the International Movie Database website reads, "A poor yet passionate young man falls in love with a rich young woman, giving her a sense of freedom, but they are soon separated because of their social differences." Yeah, it's a love story. Now, don't get me wrong, I am comfortable enough with my own masculinity to appreciate a good love story. That is not the reason why I don't love, and I certainly don't like to watch those kind of movies. Here's my second confession. When I watch love stories, I cry. I don't shed a tear or two, no. Tears stream down my face. I get that cotton in the throat feeling and sniffles. I am a mess. The thing is, when the movie ends, my love story movie watching partner will say how much she loved it. Then look at me and see the emotional wreckage all over my face and laughs. I don't blame her. I've been crying during movies since Brian's Song. Or perhaps it was the Lassie reruns on television. But when it comes to love stories, our reactions couldn't be more different. Which brings me to our question this morning. Why is it so difficult to measure our love that we have as individuals and as a community? One reason love is tough to measure is, strictly speaking, we cannot feel what another person feels. If someone is in pain, we don't feel that pain, and the same is true for love. Someone says they're in love, we don't feel it. Since we can't feel their love, how do we measure it? Additionally, self-interest clouds our ability to measure love in a community. We measure our love by the emotions a situation produces. We watch a love story, it stirs up strong emotions. We participate in a food drive or serve dinner to those in need. We may be strongly moved. We may think we are deeply caring, but those emotions may betray us. Instead, we may be simply feeding our need to feel important or to be helpful. Measuring our love is problematic because it is difficult. We might think we are on the right track, but our emotions blind us to the truth. In our reading this morning, Jesus spoke to his disciples, saying, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments." We see that his followers, the early Christian community, have a clear set of instructions by which they measure love. The Gospel of John takes 5 chapters to cover the Last Supper. Chapters 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Most of it is filled with Jesus giving his final set of instructions. He says to his disciples several times that he's giving them a new commandment. This commandment involves love. Repeatedly, he says to them, love each other. He also says they are to be known by their love. How does he expect them to know when they are loving? In chapter 15, verses 16 and 17, he says, and I appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask of him in my name. I am giving these commandments so that you may love one another. For the disciples to go and bear fruit is the measure of love. The hallmark of a Christian community is the ability to follow Jesus' command to go and bear fruit. Each community, each parish is known and measured by its ability to go and bear fruit. The founders of the Episcopal Church in America created a system by which each church may know if they have met the measurements, the commandments of Jesus. They gave them a way to know whether or not they were measuring up to being loving to each other. While it seems boring and tedious, the annual meetings, the diocesan convention, and the general convention give us the ability to measure our love. The main purpose of the annual meeting is to measure how we are doing, to measure the degree by which we bear fruit, to measure our love for Christ and each other and God. The senior warden will give her report, the treasurer will give his report, and you will elect vestry members. Each steps show the fruit. Also, with the addition of the annual report, you will be able to measure the fruits of the parish in a new way. In it, each committee gives a statement of their work and the ways they are meeting Jesus' commandments. It is a snapshot in time. It is a way for us to see what we are doing. It is a resource by which you can get more involved and find out all the ways that the church is working. But centrally, it is the way we check in with each other, with God, measuring our love for each other, those in need, and God. Christ's church is at a historic moment. The annual meeting is one way to mark it, and the annual report is your way to claim your measures of love.